You are a waiter at a party. There are n stacked plates on pile A0. Each plate has a number written on it. There will be q iterations. So in the ith iteration, you start picking up the plates in ai-1 from the top one by one, and check whether the number written on the plate is divisible by the ith prime number. Okay, this is giving me a headache already. If the number is divisible, you stack that plate in pile B1 or BI. Otherwise, you stack that plate on pile A1, which is the next one. Okay. Okay. Took a while to like get, because the explanation really is confusing as all hell. Okay, so basically you have two piles, one pile of plates initially, and then you are effectively sorting those plates into another pile, which are the B piles, and those are gathering up as individual stacks by themselves. Okay, so A1, so you're given just the A0. So in this case, it's 3, 3, 4, 4, and 9. So that's all in one pile. That's all the piles you have right now. After one iteration, you go through each plate from top to bottom, the top being like the end of the array, effectively. So you go with 9, and you check if it's divisible by the ith prime number. In this case, I is 1. So the first prime number is 2. And you check, okay, which ones are divisible by 2? Obviously, it's only the even numbers, so 4 and 4 will be sorted into pile B, B1, and then any remainders are put into the next A pile, and the A pile is what you basically are sorting. You're kind of pulling from. After the second iteration, the second prime number is 3, and so you sort those into B2. So it looks like this is the output numbers from B1 from top to bottom, then the output of B2. Kind of changed up my perspective here. So this fact that they're splitting it by the the B1, B2, it's kind of irrelevant because I just need to basically create a single array and then just add on to it from the end, just push whatever is being sorted. Okay, so I think I have an idea how I would go about solving this one. Okay, so first I need to initiate output array. Then I need to go backwards through numbers array, and I think it's splice. And splice out. And actually, that's actually important because when you're going backwards through an array and you change that array, that will mess up the order and also the size of the array. But if you go backwards, it actually won't hurt. It won't like break your code if you're going backwards. So this is actually nice that it's going backwards and you can splice out at that point. I'm also need to keep track of iteration, because you're only supposed to do q iterations. We should output numbers in B1 from top to bottom, and then outputs. Okay, so from top to bottom. Oh, interesting. So the top. Oh, so this is actually a stack, kind of. So I need to return output backwards and numbers backwards. Okay, so that's a minor change there. And splice out when ith. So I also need like prime numbers, kind of. Numbers. Get prime numbers. Get prime numbers up to q. Then go backwards to numbers arrays and splice out when number divisible by, I should say divisible by prime number ith. When number equals 0, basically. Okay. And then you repeat this. Repeat until iteration equals q. Okay, so you initialize an empty array. That would be like your stack of B plates that you can accrue over time. Wait, hold on. So what happens if you have more than one plate then? Ah. So you still need to output from top to bottom, and then from top to bottom for the second stack. Okay, so that's annoying. Maybe it's a minor annoyance actually. So output array, and then so basically I need to store temp array to accrue numbers. Okay. Add to output backwards. So I basically want to like keep the logic here the same. Okay, cool. Okay, so this will keep the order properly here. So I create an array, go backwards. Keep an iteration track. So I start with 1, and then I need to get my prime numbers. That's kind of annoying as well. Then I just loop through it until I get my iterations up to Q. The whole time I'm storing numbers that I'm accruing from the filtering process. Then in order for me to do the filtering, I actually go backwards through the numbers array, splicing out anything that is divisible by the prime. And then when I'm done with that process, I will add those temporary array. So add temp array to output backwards. That way the output array is like in the right order. And then at the end, I will return that array effectively. Wait, do I need to do it backwards? Because I'm doing it backwards here. Let's see. So if I'm putting these in backwards, this would be 4, 4, and then 9, 3, 3. So I don't need to do that one backwards. So I'm adding it in backwards here, so I don't need to do it here. Return with remaining numbers backwards. Okay, so I think this would work. So let's start doing some stuff here. The thing I feel like I'm going to probably have issues with this getting the prime numbers a little bit. So I think I might want like a function for that. Number is prime. Okay. My goodness. Okay, that's minorly annoying, but let's do this. So this is like the code I wish I had effectively. So const output. Okay. Track iterations. Let's do iter equals 1. No, it doesn't matter. 0. Let's do 0. In which case it's then this. Okay. Get prime numbers. Okay, so let's do const primes equals get primes up to Q. All right, repeat that. So I say while iter is less than Q. Q. Then I wish I could make this larger. Oh, wait, I can't make it larger. Oh, wait, that's not larger. Is it? Look at this. I can code in larger space. Holy crap, I didn't know I could do that. All right, let's go back here. So store temp. Okay, so const temp. Go backwards. So this is a for loop. Fork. Let's. I guess I could say I equals numbers dot length. Yes, the current length minus 1. Then while I is greater or equal to 0, I minus. So I loop backwards and splice out when it does match. Okay, so I need to get my prime number then. So const prime num for this iteration is equal to primes, and I need to grab the iter of that. Right, so the first time is going to be 0. So that'll be the first prime number, which should be 2 technically. All right, cool. So, and then I just go through the numbers and I say, I'm going backwards. So if numbers, okay, number is I, so that's the ith number. And again, you're going backwards. If you are divisible by the prime number equals 0. I should say triple equals technically. Then I want to splice you out and add you to the temporary array. So splicing would be numbers.splice. I think it's splice. Start number, which is I. You splice out the one element. And this will give you... So splice can technically splice out an entire array. So what this returns will be an array. So I need to just get the first element of that. It's going to be one element long because it's length 1 here. So you splice that out. So I could say like this. So like splice number. So then I do temp dot push that splice number. And it's okay to do that because when you're looping backwards, you can change that array, which is fine. And then once you're done doing that, we will add to the output backwards. So how do I do that in a very easy way? Is there an easy way of doing that? So I think I want to actually not make this constant because it's... yeah, because I want to do like a spread thing, so I think I'll just do a let here, and then I'll say output equals output that you already have plus the so I can also spread temp. Oh, so actually no, I could do that. I spread temp because instead of pushing, I want to add it from the start. So so this is add temp array backwards. This is me adding to temp backwards effectively. So instead of pushing at the end, I want to push at the beginning. And I think that is also a splice method where you splice the 0. Is that right? Hold on, I gotta check out my methods. Okay, JavaScript. Oh, you put 0. Okay, 2 0. Okay, you splice at the beginning. You do not delete anything, so it's 0 there. And you add the thing you want to splice in. So at the 0th index, delete nothing and add splice number. So I'm just adding backwards onto the temporary array. So I can do this spread operator here. So everything is in position here. Everything's like backwards properly here. And I think once you're, I need to iterate I need to do iter plus plus. I think I could do that in here, being fancy. Okay. Q. And then I would return was effectively the output and the remaining numbers backwards. So the remaining numbers are in the numbers array. How do I do that backwards in a very quick and easy way? Okay, so while numbers dot length. While you have length, let's just pop off the end. Output dot push numbers dot pop. Pop. And I think that should do it. Okay, so I think that would work. So now I just need to do one thing, which is to get primes properly. Okay, so get primes returns an array of the first n prime numbers. Okay, prime numbers, my goodness. Oh, so annoying. So I can just loop through, I can just go from, I have a start, so let's I equals 0, or 1 I should say. Or 2, because we know it's prime number. So also, hold on, what is the limit on Q? Because maybe we could just like straight up hard code the prime numbers, which I think would be maybe quicker. Actually think that is quicker. Okay, yeah, so Q iteration, so what is Q? Q can be from 1 up to 1200. Okay, that's kind of annoying. Creating primes up to 1200. Honestly, I feel like not creating it, I feel like creating it takes up a lot of time and processing power, and I feel like I could probably get prime numbers. Is that too much space? Like, so in terms of like numbers, 1200 numbers is not very big, and this work has already been done. So I feel like redoing work is excessive and not efficient. So how do I grab you? Okay, let me inspect on this. You are a span called box, and you go in order like this. Very good. Okay, so class boxa. Element by class name boxa. That gives me A collection of 1,229. Ooh, this is exactly enough. Okay, cool. Okay, so for anyone who's not familiar with working in the browser and what I'm doing here, effectively I am going into this document. This is an HTML document. It's a website, but it's still a document. And I am just grabbing all of these elements as like text, because this is just a number array, it's just text. And I'm going to convert that into a nice array that I can just copy and paste into my code. And it's lucky enough there's 1,229 of these, which is really convenient because I just happen to need exactly 1,200. So let's grab let's grab this as a variable. So these are going to be my boxes, boxes. Okay, and then I can say boxes. I can just do array from, because I want to be like really just convenient here. I want to map out the element, and the element dot inner text I think would work. Is that a thing? Yes, inner text. Okay, inner text, and let's just make sure that these are straight up numbers. So I convert to numbers, and I actually want just the first 1,200 technically. All right, cool. What I want to do here is convert this to a string. And then I will copy that whole string. I will have my, so I think I still like the function of like get primes. So let me just keep that code the same. And I suppose I could do that. So const prime string. I'm like redundantly doing that. Okay, so it's a very long string here. That's all in one line. Fine. And then I will have to split. So return string dot split on the comma, and then I will do a slice of 0 to n, and that's what I'm returning. Yes, okay. Let me just shrink that real quick. Okay, so primes is now get primes here. Get prime q. Okay, cool. I think that should do it. So let's all right, let's let's see if all that was worth it. Run some code. It doesn't work. I do output something though. Hold on a second. Whoa. So I output 46573. So I output it backwards. So this backwards thing is this was this part, this temp. Sorry, no, it's this thing. Numbers pop. Spread on that, and then spread on the numbers. So I don't need to do anything like fancy, basically. Okay. I just got, my ordering was a little bit off there. Okay. All right, I got one case that worked and one case that didn't. All right. Hey, this one is backwards now. Honestly, what's funny is like the hardest part here is literally just getting the freaking order proper. Like the whole prime number is looping through it backwards, splicing in the right place, doesn't matter. This is the challenge. Just getting the darn things in the right order. Holy crap, why do you not work? No, it doesn't make sense. Look at this. This second iteration, why is it stacked up like this? 6-4, because you're going backwards. You're going like you start from the top and you go 6. That's what you add here. So you are pushing it in the order that you're saying it in backwards. For you, A1. So this is a contradiction then, because like A1, you're looking at it from the top. You should be 933, not 339. So that seems like a mistake. I had some more time to look it over, and actually, now that I look at the problem again, the real mistake actually is not this, it's actually here. I had the wrong assumption when you pull from the first A pile that it continues its order for the A1 pile. But if you actually read the description and look at some of the test cases, you realize that the next A pile is constructed by pulling from the top of the previous, and the plate goes on the bottom of the next A piles. This is incorrect, because when you go from the A1, you should be pulling from the top. 9 should go to the bottom. So 9 should be here, then a 3, and then a 3. So this is actually a mistake. And then this is actually proper because the A1 will now be pulling from the 3 first, and then the 3 goes to the bottom. Suggest edits. Description is confusing because second example is wrong. This makes it unnecessarily confusing. Okay, make that suggestion. Perfect. All right. So my previous code had me basically carry over the numbers list because I had falsely assumed that the order from the A1 remains constant. That is incorrect. It actually does basically switch because you go through it and you put from the bottom, you put the top plate on the bottom of the next pile. So here's another implementation that actually does work. So I have here, I initiate a current pile variable, which it starts off as the whole numbers array. Then I have the next pile, which is an empty empty array, and this output will take on all the B1 piles properly, and then at the end I will tag on the remainder piles from the remainder, like the last A1 pile or A pile. I keep track of my iterator like before. I get my primes like I did before, so that same functionality is still there. One minor thing is I will take the number, I now convert them from string to number. That's one thing that was also not doing well. Then I will do my while loop iterating through it. I will create a temporary pile just like before. I grab my prime while iterating on the iteration. And then this time I'm still looping backwards, but I'm kind of doing a slightly different implementation. I'm taking my current pile, which the first time it's going to be the whole numbers array, and I just do a while it has a length, and I'll just pop off from the end. So it's effectively going backwards again. This time I keep track of that number, and then I say, hey, if you're divisible by that prime, put you in the temporary pile. Otherwise, put you in the next pile. That'd be the A1 effectively. Then I will just need to do like a little resetting here. So I take my current pile and I set it to the next pile, which is the A1, and then the next pile I reset to a new array. Then I set my output to the last output plus the temp file, but remember in reverse. And I'm using the .reverse method, which I wasn't using before, so it's really easy to actually do the reversing in JavaScript now. There was a time that was not possible. This is an ES6 thing, which actually I just learned about today, so I learned something today. Okay, so after you go through all your iterations, you stop when you get to Q, and then you will return the output, which is in the right order, and then you just tag on the current pile again in reverse because it's being added backwards. Okay, so let's check out what that looks like here with running some code. Okay, that works, and certainly when I submit the code, this also works. So, yay, we did it. I was so frustrated with, this is a recurring thing I'm noticing, like the people, whoever makes these problems, you get to understand they're not like totally vetted, and there may be mistakes, and that is really annoying sometimes. Hey, we did it! Woohoo! That is it for today. Hope that was useful, and if not frustrating for me. So remember, do your whole like, subscribe stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye.